a podcast together, Haley, was way back. Leo was with me in Japan, and we were on you guys' old pod.
Was it? It was an old game query.
Yeah, old game query. It was a
Oh,
really
yeah.
good one, though. It
God,
was
I
super
want to
fun.
listen to it. That's so fun. I wonder what year that would have been, like 2017 or something, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 2017 or 18. Because those are the years that you came to Japan, right, Leo?
Yes. Christmases 2017 and 2018. The two Christmases.
That should be a Hallmark movie. That's a good thing.
The two Christmases. It's already got the title.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm sure there's already 20 films with that name.
I'm so intrigued hearing that.
It's a divorce. It's the first Christmas after divorce, and the kids don't know where to go.
Whoa.
I like that.
And then by the end, they come together again, and there's one Christmas.
Happy ending.
They already made a movie called Four Christmases. Is that a problem?
Oh my God, they're fun. Okay, well, this will just be the prequel to that.
Okay. Great.
Well, I gotta see what Four Christmases is about.
That's the Vince Vaughn one, right?
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn and the Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah, you're right.
Nice.
No, I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
Let's go.
It received generally negative reviews from critics, but earned
no way.
$163 million worldwide. So who got the last laugh?
I'm telling you, hearing More Than One Christmas? You're opening to that page of the newspaper to see what it's about.
The plot that both of their parents are divorced, so they go to Four Christmases, because that's really just my idea twice.
Your idea is fucked if that's what that movie's about. Your idea is absolutely boned.
They took my idea I just came up with in the past and did it twice. That's so messed up.
That's actually so messed up.
Oh, wait, did you get confirmation? Because it really is about that. It says each of them comes from divorced parents and overall dysfunctional families.
Nice.
They had to add that. They just say it's divorced family, and also they're dysfunctional.
Hitmonchan says Vince Vaughn is Santa's brother in that other movie.
Oh, Fred Claus. Why
he doesn't
do I know
specify
all his work? I'm not a fan.
An expert.
Not like Vince Vaughn. Not like I just happen to know every film he's ever been in. Oh, we good to go, Leo? Want me to?
Yes. Let me close all the things where I could get potentially incriminating messages on. Not incriminating, but private.
There we go, stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Streamer mode.
Your doctor messages you on Discord.
Yeah.
How's that problem you've been having?
I go to a gaming doctor.
Yeah. Oh, that was lit.
Dr. K, the gaming doctor, is my doctor. He's my.
He just does carpal tunnel.
Does my checkups.
That's awesome.
Cool. I think we're all set. Whenever y'all are all set.
Oh. Okay.
I'm ready.
I'll run it back. Hello, and welcome to Bonus Pod, the companion podcast to the Min-Max Show. My name's Haley McLean, and you might be wondering if you're watching on video or hearing my words audio, why is she laying down on the couch? What the hell? Does she not give a crap anymore and she's phoning it in? No, I think I slipped a disc in my back. And no gamers, that doesn't mean I missed the disc drive on my PS5 with my copy of The Last of Us Part 2. I think it's when my back hurts because I'm 30 now. I slept funny, I guess. So now my body says I have to be in pain for a whole week. Welcome to the show. Thank you, Dad. Two awesome guests, Leo Vader. Hi, Leo.
Hi. It's sad that thousands of years ago, if you slept wrong and you woke up with your back hurting, that just meant you got eaten by a tiger that day.
I'd be dead.
Yeah.
So blessed that I get to lay on my couch with a heating pad and look at YouTube videos.
The magic of AirPods.
One of which I watched today great segue, was a beautiful indie game documentary by Mr. Leo Bader himself of his best friend of 10 years, Cobysoft Joe, who's also here. Hi, Joe.
I haven't had a
Welcome.
chance to watch the full doc yet. I just watched the intro, but it made me
Oh,
think of like the Pee Wee Herman ending, spoilers, where he's like, I don't have to watch it, I lived it. And then he walks away.
that's really bold and brave. Maybe you should just never watch it so you can always say that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I just watched it this afternoon. Great day to hurt my back 'cause I didn't work today. So I was like, oh, I get to watch the documentary dropped. I was like, God has a plan for us all. This is the reason I got hurt today. I can watch this awesome documentary. I loved it. It was so good. Amazing job, Leo.
Thank you so much.
That's
My
awesome. Were
favorite
you in
part
it, by the
was,
way? Sorry.
I was in Leo and I at the end of the day of the devs event, hung out for a bit, went to the MinMax meetup. So I was in a couple little shots
Okay,
somewhere
cool.
near the middle, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fun. So that was fun to see that too. I was like, hey, that's me. So that was really cool. But I just want to credit you both as you guys have such a good friendship that it's fun to watch. And I was trying to think to myself, do I have friendships that if there was cameras on us all the time, it would be fun to watch? And I feel like that's a huge brag.
Really? Because what I kind of thought putting it together was like, I would be interested in just about anybody spotlighting their friendship like this. I feel like everybody
Yeah.
has kind of their own unique dynamics, and we rarely just like put a spotlight on them. There's,
Yeah.
we often had come up with more of an excuse to like, let's do content about this or whatever. And it was fun to kind of trust ourselves a little bit of like, if we lean into our friendship, it will be fun to watch.
For sure.
really cool.
And like, I feel like friends are awesome because they make you act differently than you usually would and like be like a better version of yourself and like funnier. So I liked a lot that it was Leo doing the documentary. It'd be so different if it was like uh who's the guy who did Bowling for Columbine? That'd be a very different documentary.
Michael Moore.
Michael
Probably.
Moore? Okay, yeah.
I'm sure the vibe would have been different if Michael Moore did your Donkey Cabbage doc for sure. Yeah, just for context, so the documentary, it's up on MinMax's channel. Go watch it. It's so good. Patreon supporters can see the extended cut version, which is how long, Leo?
5 hours, over 5 hours, and
5
it's just as
hours.
edited as the 80-minute version.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, amazing. And it's covering Joe's game in process of being made, Donkey Cabbage, which I'm so excited for. I don't know if you remember, Joe, but I played a demo of your game, I think in 2017, like back then. And it
Yeah.
was, even back then it slapped, and it looks, every time I glance at your Steam page, I'm like, what the hell? This game looks so cool.
Thank you so much. I remember you playing that because not many people played that version, and you said some really nice things about it. Like I remember your reaction was like, "You're like I want to like pay for it. I feel like when I was playing it, I felt like I should have paid for it, like that experience or something like that," which I thought was really really nice.
Oh, that's
And
nice that you remember that.
yeah, I totally remember that. And the game is so different now. It is insane. It had like a death and a rebirth, I always say, like because that was like a 2D version and now it's fully 3D. So I basically like restarted the whole thing essentially.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
see
wow, that's really cool.
shots that were in that original demo in 2D having been completely remade in 3D and like modern preview stuff. And in the vlog, which in the Backstage Pass version, there's the full demo. There's like the 12-minute MoMA presentation, which has a lot of more detail, more moments that didn't make it into the main thing, including my favorite thing I've ever seen from the game that Joe is like kept hidden because it's so good and he knows the power it has. He doesn't want to spoil it, but he agreed to release it in the Backstage Pass cut only.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's the very last thing in the demo.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how long were you two planning on Leo being the one to record this at GDC? Was that like really planned out, or were it like a few weeks before where you're like, yo, this would be cool, let's do it?
It was so off the cuff and came together so fast. It was like the second we had the idea of it, we like executed it like 45 minutes later. And it was like just a few weeks before I was going, basically.
Was it the drive? I was visiting Joe. I took the train there. Was it the drive from the train to your house? Was it that first drive?
I don't think so. I think it was, we were just sitting in this room that I am right now, and we were like, what if you just came?
Yeah,
And
you were
what if you
talking
just
about
filmed it up?
you were talking about going, and we both pretty much at the same time had the thought, like, should I just go to that and film you? And then we immediately curated the message to Hanson and to Joe's people he needed to ask to make sure it was cool. And by the next day, it had all been greenlit, and we booked flights and stuff.
Yeah,
And this was
it came
February
together
23rd.
so fast.
You can see in the vlog the day we're like starting to organize that. I don't know how much we verbalize it, but that was the day.
Oh, that's cool. That's even more fun than if it was like planned a year out. That kind of tracks with the tone of the thing too, which is just like friends being friends, excited where they're at in life currently.
Definitely.
Going with the flow.
That's a major theme.
Yes. Big time. And
what was it like to create? Oh, go ahead, Leo. You go first.
The Apple Vision Pro Tour is an example to me of like, we just had time to do something and then did like a 30-minute review of it. That's in the extended version.
I love that was in there.
It really doesn't fit with anything else that it is about. Besides, I guess it's interesting that it was on the GDC weekend.
When I saw, Joe, I think you walked into like an Apple bar thing, and it was like it cut from before you two like talking at the Day of the Devs event or something, and all of a sudden Joe was at the Apple event. I'm like, is he buying a new iPhone? Did his iPhone fall near the sea lions, maybe, or something? And then it's just Joe with the Apple Vision Pro. I'm like, oh, they're just reviewing Apple Vision Pro. I was like, that's cool. I love that's in here. All right, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's like vaguely gamer related because I think we were talking about using it for games and stuff.
Yeah.
And you not liking it, I think, kind of painted the picture of like you're even surpassing where the highest peak of technology right now, you know? You're above it.
Apple needs to catch up to my vision is my stance.
Yes.
Oh God. Look what just arrived.
Painkillers.
Painkillers.
Are you going to be effed up now?
Yeah, should I take them live on air? Is that allowed? I think they're just normal.
Did your dog deliver those to you?
Yeah.
That's the way
she's
it
like,
looked.
She's really well trained. She can sit and speak and bring me Skelly Copsib. That is for sure.
Yeah, sick Ghibli posters, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, should we do a little? I'm never in my living room. My living room's my favorite room in my apartment. I actually have, this is a Spirited Away still. That's like my favorite still in the whole movie when they're on the train and she looks out the window. It's like one of my favorite images I've ever seen. I don't know why. Just like when I looked at it, I was like, yes, that's the best thing I've ever seen. I want more of that.
That's amazing.
There's my dog again. That's my TV. There's my partner. Hi, Michael. Hello. It's Michael. This is my partner. This is my dog. Sorry, audio listeners. You can just imagine.
Is there
a window
footage of a smaller TV on your big TV right now?
Oh yeah, I was listening to Nintendo 64 music, and this is like the footage they had. So like every time the song changes, it changes the TV.
It's an interesting optical illusion. It almost looks at a glance like you have that small TV when really you have the big TV.
Interesting. I didn't think of that. That's I have a huge TV and a worse CRT TV inside of it.
Right. Hopefully that's painted a good picture for the majority audio listeners.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
But it's back on track. Sorry, audio listeners who just had to close their eyes and picture what my living room looks like.
Sorry if you were driving.
Sorry if you're driving and you crash because you're such a vivid imagination and you really wanted to picture that. Right. What was the thing I was going to ask you? Oh, shoot. This. Now I'm being bad. I haven't even taken the drugs yet and I'm already freaking what I was going to say and what I was going to do. What was your favorite part of the documentary to for you, Leo, since you've seen it so far?
Great question, Haley. Thank you for thinking of it and saying it. I think for me, I really treasure having the late night Delirium segments captured, which are again mostly in the backstage pass version. But that's like whatever walls there were, whatever small walls there were for us being best friends who know each other so well and are comfortable on camera with each other and stuff, those little walls are completely gone at midnight, when for us it's 2 a.m. after these long crazy days and we're just saying nonsense to each other and making each other laugh in the hotel bedroom.
Yeah, that's a very old school like sleepover vibe too. It's like when you'd be in elementary school and just like really growing closer with your friends and stuff. I haven't seen the doc yet, but I already know like some of my favorite parts that I experienced were like the debriefings that we would do, like just in the hotel lobby. And did the crinkled thing make it in there? Or not?
The crinkled thing? Oh God, was that on camera or was that before we started? I think it might have been before we started.
That was not even on camera, I don't think.
Okay, exclusive story.
Yeah, so this wasn't on the doc, but can we talk about being high on this? I mean, it has drugs in the title of the documentary. But
yeah.
Like Leo was saying that Disney Plus is the worst high selection for content out there.
Interesting.
It's Apple TV.
Apple TV, sorry.
Oh.
And then you said like it's got that dumb Christmas movie with the poster with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds going like this, and we're like, what's that called again? He's like, I think it's called Kringled, and just that name took me out so hard. It's called like Spirited or something, but Kringled with that image of them running was just too funny.
Oh, these guys are getting Kringled in this. Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm in Leafy in the Twitch chat says Spirited. That movie's actually so good. Unironically, okay. Call me when it's called Kringled.
Is that the horse movie? Though I think we might be thinking about that really good horse movie of the hot horse.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've never seen that though. Yeah,
you should watch that movie, Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. I know for a fact Sarah has probably watched that. I don't know actually this, but I know in my heart she's watched that movie 8 million times because every young woman has watched that movie 8 million times. The horse is hot. They pulled it off. I don't know how they did it. I was gonna
say, all I know about is people are not normal about that movie. That's about all I know about it.
That's exactly right. I think it's his eyebrows. Because you got to give kudos to the animators. Like when you add a human body part to an animal that doesn't normally have it, it can be a hit or a miss. And he's largely just a horse, but they add the eyebrows in. And it really elevates it to a new level of, yeah, that horse is hot. Instead of just that's a horse.
I'm putting the image on screen now for our video viewers.
Oh, thank you, Leo.
And if you're driving, pull over and look up the horse.
Yeah, please put your blinker on right now and look for the next available exit to pull off and look at this horse.
Get to a place where it's safe to start smooching your phone. It's so funny.
Do you two feel like you have very identical brains? Like you think very similar? Because I really got that vibe from watching the documentary.
Yeah,
pretty similar, yeah. But not too similar where we're not surprised by each other all the time and what we say. But yeah, when we made our old YouTube channel 10 years ago, almost to the day.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't really realize that's how you pointed that out. It's like June 14th was the first episode, or June 6th? It was even closer.
No, June 6th is in 3 days is the 10-year anniversary of Games Are Dumb for Kids. And we went through a major mind meld at that point because me and Leo were both independently funny at that point, but then like just the cross pollination, our brains got mangled, intermingled.
I've told Leo
Definitely.
this. The Blanco brothers bit, I think about that probably every week or so. That still sticks in my head as one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life.
Definitely.
Thank
And
you.
that's one of those things where it's like, I can't believe we got that on camera, because one of those like kind of loopy days where you and your friend are just saying everything and it's hitting so hard that you're like
Yeah.
crying. Like that's I don't think most humans on earth get to have that recorded.
Oh, that's so
Exactly.
true.
And that's, I guess, it's nice having that kind of structure for that the way we did, and capturing, structured improv where it's like something's going to happen here we can't predict, but we'll be recording it, can create such great moments. And I love that, and I love we're just going to record everything and not feel like we have to have some kind of purpose for it, and getting good content out of that, which is more what this documentary is.
Yeah, I feel like that those two things are linked, because I feel like I get to be so lucky that you documented the whole thing and I can revisit it anytime. And there's these like moments of us just laughing and having fun, like cherished memories for real.
Yeah, when I was at times when I would lose faith in it a little bit when I was deep in the edit, and I was like, is this for anybody besides us? I was like, I'm kind of okay if it is just for us. like no matter what, I will be so glad that we made it, because I will appreciate it
sure.
in 10 years. And I think
For sure.
I truly do believe that anything made with that kind of thought behind it, that kind of like belief in it, is like worthwhile to other people. Like that's the kind of stuff I like to consume, is when other people are feeling that way about it.
Yeah, totally. Like I have a best friend, Michael, same name as my partner. He's also my best friend. You know what I mean? I have
Oh,
a best friend, Michael, my partner, Michael. It sounds like Michael's also not my best friend. But I've been friends with him since I was 13 or 14. And I also think we have that friendship where we have the same brain and we think the same stuff's funny. And I can think of a few, even just like off the top of my head, those like, I'm laughing so hard, I'm crying. And we talk about it a decade later. Like, remember that one time where we couldn't stop laughing about Stuart Little's car and how, if it did X, Y, Z, like just those dumb moments that
Yeah.
don't make sense. But the difference is we weren't like content creators. So I don't have those little capsules of memories. So I am jealous of you two, because you have like games done for kids, like these kind of projects where you can. I wish I had a clip of us laughing about that Stuart Little thing in 2005, because we
Yeah.
were weak at that. I wish I could watch that back.
yeah. That's a
You just
such a
need to wear the Apple Vision Pro at all times.
Oh, this is just all. That's why you put that in the freaking doc, eh? You're just
yeah.
trying to sell me an Apple Vision Pro.
You'd get used to it eventually. I I think about that all the time. How like I think we all kind of have a little bit of an obsession about like keeping memories and not wanting to forget things that are cherished to us. And it's a beautiful gift to have those memories crystallized, to use a Dome King Cabbage term. But also, it's so
Hey.
hard to like. It's an impossible path to go down. Of like, you're always going to miss stuff. There's no like, I'm doing it. I'm capturing everything I ever want, and we'll never forget anything. It's like there's an importance in making peace with that. These moments matter when they happen, and they matter later, even if you can't recall the details. I don't know. It's a big topic.
That's very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, that's crazy that that's like a major theme of the game too. Is like you want to like hold on to all those memories, but it's literally impossible. Um, like weirdly tying back to the Ghibli thing, like I was just watching Nausicaa, and then the next day I watched the commentary track and a line peeked through, and me and my partner were like, we do not remember this line being in there. And it was like crazy that we both like just did not retain it. And it's like there's so much that we experienced that basically didn't happen because we can't remember it. The past is an
Yeah.
illusion.
Right. My partner will always say when something happens she doesn't remember in a movie, she's God bless her, I love her so much. She says, I think this is like an extended version or something. I don't remember the scene. I'm kind of like, it's more likely that we just forgot it, I think. But
That's fair.
it feels so real.
Yeah.
For real.
I want to ask you too, Joe. You feel like somebody who is really good at remembering their dreams too. Is that true?
At one
Are you a
point,
vivid dreamer?
at one point, like I was remembering dreams on purpose to try to lucid dream, and that was like working. And if you get into the practice of writing your dreams down in the morning, it starts to become too much. You start remembering too much of your dreams, and it gets annoying to write them because you'll wake up and you'll have to write 6 short stories of like
Right.
nonsense. And so
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. And the dreams that stick out, I just like consider them like important. I'm like, whoa, like that was a message. And it'll be a lot of times things that are on my mind, like, I haven't talked to this friend in a long time, then they'll show up in my dream. I'm like, that's a message I should like message them. And
Yeah.
what about you? Are you a dream rememberer at all?
Oh my God, I'm the most vivid dreamer. It drives me nuts, like you're saying. It's tiring. I don't have good sleep. Even though I am asleep, I'm clearly not in a deep enough REM cycle or whatever because I remember everything that just happened. Like I just watched a movie for like 8 hours. It's
Wow.
tiring. I really hate it.
Wow.
Like it's even just last night. I had like 5 or 6 dreams in a row, and it's almost like flipping a TV station. Like they'll kind of switch topics randomly. Like at one point, I got to my dorm room. And it was like I was sharing it with this girl that I used to horseback ride with maybe 17 years ago. I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought about her in years. My subconscious was like, bloop, remember her? And our dorm room was like a cubby that you crawl into, and her bed was there in mine. And I remember like going to a hallway and calling my mom because I want to come home. I don't even know what I was at. But then when we were going to bed last night, my partner and I were watching one of the Planet of the Apes movies. All their names blend together. Dawn, Rise, whatever, one of them. And
Yes.
I was like, okay, enough of that. Like, I want to watch something else so I don't have scary ape dreams. he was like, I don't think you only watch a movie for 45 minutes. You probably won't have ape dreams. And he told me this morning when he got up to leave because he gets up earlier than me. I leaned over. I went, by the way, for the record, I had ape dreams, and I fell back to sleep immediately. And I did. I had like there was apes in my dreams at one point. Like my mom and I got in trouble climbing some roof, and there was apes there. I don't know why. And some security guard noticed us, and then our phones were ringing. We weren't picking them up, and my subconscious was like, that's the security guard calling to tell you you're kicked out of university or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I won't pick up. Like it's so tiring. I don't want to think that much. I just want like black sleep.
Yeah. You don't always need ape dreams every night.
If every dream's an ape dream, when will I rest?
I wish you could find your gratitude a little bit, Haley. I mean, there's plenty of people who would love to have 8-hour Planet of the Apes movies play every night instead of sleeping. That'd be their dream come true.
But do you want to be in the movie where they're scared of the apes? It's like an Apple Vision Pro. Man, it's terrifying. I don't want that for my dreams every night.
Yeah, that was our takeaway.
I did have another one where I was in a library, and this is the one that I told my therapist because I thought it was the trippiest, is I remember running my finger down a line of books, and when I woke up, I remembered what was written on the spines. That's how vivid the memory was of it. And I was like, what? And then another thing we've been talking about on Bonus Pod too is like I don't picture things when I think. It's like a way of, it's like called aphantasia, I think, or something. But I don't know if I see things when I dream. I really don't know. I can't tell if I just thought about those things and I can recall the memory, or if I actually saw a picture of it.
You probably don't see it then, if that's even a question.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
If I'm questioning if I see it, that means I probably did it. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think I kind of have aphantasia. I don't imagine things that well. But I wanted to say on your point about remembering the spines, like in the first grade, I had a dream, and it was the end of the dream and credits were rolling, and it was playing the most beautiful song my little 6-year-old ass had ever heard. And I remember driving to school with my mom and just like remembering the song. I could still remember it and just like playing it in my head over and over till it like basically went away. But I think that's wild, like how we can get ideas from the dream world. Like the movie Nope, Jordan Peele like woke up from an ape dream. He woke up with the monkey stuff that the movie opens
Yes.
with, which like he woke up sobbing to an ape dream. That's crazy.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
dreams are so weird.
Yeah,
I know everyone knows like it's boring to hear people talk about dreams, and I'm low key like I don't think so. I think it's fun
Yeah.
to talk about dreams. It shows what you're nervous about and stuff a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm. It's
That's true.
fascinating.
We used to keep a dream
Yeah.
journal group chat, Joe and I and Jake, who we did Games That Don't Forget stuff with. And that was an
That's
interesting
fun.
way to like help us decide to write them down more, as if we could tell each other and react to each other's and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if y'all's doing that ever made your dreams kind of like not meld because it's not like Inception or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like it's like hearing Leo's dreams all the time made Joe start to dream about similar stuff.
It's like that
Wow.
episode of SpongeBob where they could visit each other's dreams, like walk into the little thought bubble.
Oh yeah. Iconic.
I'm getting more Matrix alternate life vibes from what Haley's describing about her sleep.
What's that?
That's interesting.
Like you're in a whole other world and that's the real world when you dream?
Oh
that
God,
ever-
don't
do you ever
tell me
think about
that. And yeah, well, sometimes I worry that, and sometimes I wake up with the slight feeling that I remember something for half a second that's really important. Like maybe it's the other side being like, "Don't forget us, you're gonna wake up, you forget." And then I wake up and I'm like, and then it goes away just as quick, and I'm like, "What is this feeling I feel?" It feels like I need to remember something that I can't. Then I'm like, "Oh well, coffee," and I just go about my day like my psyche didn't just get destroyed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Our world depends on it. And then you're gone.
If you can just remember one time, we'll all be safe. I'm just like, oh. Yeah, what the hell?
Wow.
That'd be crazy. But no, I sometimes have dreams where like my mom dies in front of me or something, and it's so vivid. And then I start to wake up and start writing emails, and I'm like, my mother just died in front of my eyes, and I have to write, "Dear boss, happy Monday." Like, what the hell? It's like, you know, and I can't write it and be like, "I'm shook up from a dream. Can I take the morning off?"
I know.
That's so real.
It's just like such a weird thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think only other vivid dreamers, like if my boss was also a vivid dreamer here, I'd be like, totally understand, no worries. But every other person would be like, Haley's weird. I might fire her soon. It's like, no. But I'm surprised to hear that you think you might have aphantasia a little bit, Joe, because I feel like your art style is it feels so pre-realized, like before you go into your software to make something, and I know like you can still think of things and it comes up and you can have thoughts because that's how I think too, but you kind of I'm surprised to hear that because it really, when I think about, oh, I'm jealous of people that think that way because art must be fun because you can picture what your art's going to be and then just put it on the screen in a lot more easy way. And I honestly think about you sometimes. I'm like, Joe's art's so cool, and I bet he just is like, that'll be a cool character, and you just make it in Blender or whatever and it shows up. Like, what do you think of that process and that thought, that if you don't think that way?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because if I do have inkling of what something might look like, it ends up I'm not really able to do it. And it's like that's I think a struggle for a lot of artists. But I think the best art also comes from a place where you're like almost not even conscious of it. Like you really, the pen is guiding itself, or you're writing and it feels like the joke is writing itself. You're like tapping into something like bigger than yourself. I think that's when it gets crazy. If I'm like trying to do like, I don't know, like a Pikachu ripoff or something, it won't come out the same as if it's just like really born from the subconscious like that.
Is that something you like about 3D specifically? Is a little more of like rolling with the punches and trying new things?
Yeah, there's a lot that I like about 3D. That kind of like what you mentioned is a big part of it, but also like not having to draw perspective is huge for me, because people who draw 2D really amaze me when they're good at it, because it is like that. It's like you are like from your mind's eye, like perfectly constructing like a cathedral, and it's like it's a lot easier if I can move a camera around like Super Mario 64 or something. It's weirdly like close to video games to be working in 3D, whereas drawing is like I'm building the world and reality from scratch with just little marks, you know?
Interesting.
It's like playing with matter in real life, like play almost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what claymation is versus
Y-
just drawing. I just that sounds
Yeah.
so stupid if I describe it that way, but no, I get what you
Mm,
mean.
No, that's exactly what it's like. And there are some major advantages to that too, because if you have a drawing of an apple and you want to make another drawing of an apple, you have to like draw the apple again. But in 3D, it's like I can have a collection of apples from past art, and then now they're like in a library that I own of like assets that you can like reuse and stuff like that. So it's really switching to 3D really opened things up for me because you have your own assets that you make and assets from other people that I'm like cobbling together. It's like, how cool would painting be if you could just grab like a background and then like paint a character in it instead of you have to do both and it's so hard.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
If anybody's intrigued by 3D art from this conversation, I definitely want to plug your stream you did with MinMax forever ago, Joe. It's called 3D Animation and Sculpting Overview with Cobysoft Joe, where you came into the studio and showed Hanson some of the basics, right? Is that a good primer for how to get into it?
I think I was much worse at 3D then, so there's
Sure.
probably some outdated stuff, but it might be fun to watch still. And it does, if I remember right, kind of lay down some foundational things and make it less scary. And more and more people are coming up to me and saying like, where should I start with Blender? Like, how can I get into this? Like, I think everyone can do it basically, and it's intimidating at first and really like seems unintuitive, but once it starts clicking, you can really make some things that impress yourself, and it becomes really rewarding. So like if you want to get into 3D, check out CG Cookies like beginning tutorial. It's like a really well made entrance to it. I'm gonna say don't make the donut. A lot of people like start with this a weird Australian guy like making a donut, and it's so not fun to like make a donut step by step, and like he's explaining all the menus. It's like you gotta have more of an exploration to it. At least that's how I learned better, is like trying to have a goal to go towards instead of just being told like school, this is how a donut is made, you know?
Yeah.
I'm picturing his voice sounding like that the whole.
That's how he ended the tutorial. This is how a donut's made. Remember it.
Like and subscribe. I know, yeah, because I know you make like everything with them. You do the music and the writing and everything. Do you find that flow state vibe mostly come when you're doing the art side, or is it also something where your brain is just like making music and you're like, oh, let it cook. Like, let me just lean back and see what comes out. Do you find all parts of the game?
Yeah, pretty much everything comes like that in like a nice flow state flood. But I think the hardest thing is writing, which is like that's hard like drawing is, because it's like, yeah, I'm really doing the building blocks of reality in a way. You know, do you feel that at all, Leo? Like just the intimidation of like a blank page and knowing that you have to fill it.
Yes, I've come up with so many workarounds to like sneakily get the doc filled, of like doing tons of notes of the thing I'm going to be writing about, just random like free writes, whatever comes to mind, structureless, then bolding certain things in there and reorganizing everything with the notes of what matters and putting it in kind of the order I want it to be in, and then putting headings for different sections, and then eventually like building an outline out of random information versus looking at a blank page and trying to do it from there. It's like, in my mind, it's so many things I do to trick myself into getting a page filled out, because it is like the hardest thing in the world. But it's interesting, the way our division of labor worked in Games Jam for Kids a lot of the time was I would do the main edit of the show, the timeline long form, whatever, and you would do the 1 or 2 specific effects shots that would take as long or longer as the main edit, but you had a patience for drilling down into a little detail that I didn't totally share. And I think that's why one of the reasons we worked so well together. And it's cool seeing you working on this game where it is nothing but painstakingly, excruciatingly refined details.
I know. Sometimes I need to remind myself to zoom out a little bit and think of the bigger picture. There's this writing book that I read. I'll try to remember the title in just a bit. I think it's called like Writing Down the Bones or something. Writing the Bones. Yeah, Writing Down the Bones. And it's kind of like a philosophical book on writing. And one of the pieces of advice that the author gives is saying, don't get distracted by the fly on the table or something like that. It's like you're writing a passage about a scene and then a fly lands and then you start like describing the fly and like all the drilling into detail of something that's ultimately insignificant to the larger picture. So it can definitely be a hindrance. And I think like that would be good to have another person like you to like be like, hey, like we don't need to zoom into this fly, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's true for me too. Like having any other person in the process makes it so much easier to find what matters about it, having that outsider's perspective. But also it's like it pays off sometimes to care that much about the details. Like it makes for some really memorable, cool stuff, cool specific stuff.
For sure. For sure.
I liked when you guys were talking at the end. I think you were in a hotel lobby. About how it was like this one of the sweetest conversations I ever heard about how we worked so well to Julie, but that doesn't mean we were not good. If we would be good if we got back together again, sort of energy. Like you were able to blossom separately, but that root of when you first started together was a part of that too. And that was so sweet. And y'all are very self-aware and have very good emotional communication.
Thank you. We're losing you a little bit. You're cutting out, but I think we got all that. I've
just that out there.
Oh.
Did you get that a bit?
We got most of it, but yeah, you're in trouble. You're getting lost in the in the internet superhighway.
Lost in the digital sea for sure. I think the can we try to recap it to see that we got it right?
Yes.
So you're basically saying we had the seed together, we grew separately, and then when we come back together, it'll be natural because we had that initial growth together. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we just got for a second. It just like went like flash, like yes.
Best interviewer ever. Yes.
I think a big part of the reason like why our friendship means so much to me is because we've never had problems like telling each other what we meant to each other, and made sure that we did that. And that is something that I think comes across in that doc that I hope is clear. It's like natural. It's not anything we're putting out for the cameras at all. It's just like that's part of the value I see in capturing that is like that's the real conversation we'd have after such a moving event, like an event that meant so much to both of us.
For sure. It really was. And it's weird, you know, going through a pivotal moment and knowing that it's pivotal too. Like that's bizarre. It's like when COVID was happening and everyone was saying like, I wish I wasn't living through historic events right now, you know, except for this is the positive version of that. Basically, it's like being aware and recognizing like this kind of miraculous once in a lifetime thing just passing through.
For real. And
like being aware you're in the good old times while they're still happening, sort of.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
It's a weird feeling.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's anything to be taken away from the documentary. I hope that's in there, is like tell the people that mean something to you how much they mean to you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that doesn't go unsaid. Because that's kind of... I wanted this to be just a love letter to Joe. I was like, that's the motivator here. The core motivation that made me excited to do it.
And it's cool that it was like a major ode to our friendship, because when we said we're gonna film me going to GDC with the game and stuff, you know, that's not where my mind immediately leapt to. And like the documentary like grew legs of its own and became like something different, I think.
Yeah. Which, how are we feeling about calling it a documentary? Does that
I
feel
don't
accurate?
know. I don't know.
I think that's accurate. You don't think that's accurate?
I wouldn't begrudge anybody for thinking it wasn't accurate. It's definitely on the line between travelogue and documentary.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I think that me and you, Leo, are pretty like modest as creators, so we would just probably call that like a vlog, you know, even though it technically is like a documentary that's documenting the trip. I just think we should call all vlogs documentaries now.
Yes, that's a good solution. Elkman John in the MinMax Council chat says it has lower thirds, though, which is a good point. That does make it a documentary.
Oh, okay. That sealed it.
I do got some lower thirds. But yeah, that came from like, we were spitballing titles, which coming up with the title was really hard. As people saw in the Backstage Pass chat, a lot of votes on a lot of different titles that we didn't even end up going with any of them because we kept second guessing all of them. But the Dome King Cabbage story as the subtitle was doing really well. And I kind of ended up balking at that because I was like, is it really the Dome King Cabbage story? Like, yeah. It's a big thing to say that this is the story of that. And I don't think it really gets into like the origins of the game that much or anything.
Yeah, no, it would have to be like a different type of documentary to really go into the story. Like, this is like a chapter of that story, you know, a very important chapter, but it's not the full story whatsoever.
But for some reason, calling it the Dome King Cabbage documentary made it a little more like, well, this is as much as that exists right now. This is that. For some reason, it was easier. And similarly, like, I don't know, we wanted to pitch, I guess, how much like effort went into it. Like, make it seem like a grander piece than if it was just called 3 Days Day of the Devs.
Yeah. How often do y'all like kind of focus on that from the min-max perspective of like, this is how we gotta name things or else people aren't gonna want to watch it? And like, how conscious it must be like a major thing.
Yeah, Hanson does Backstage Pass polls a lot of which title do you guys like for this. And sometimes it's just to get a read on like what people are most excited about. Like, if we pitch by putting this game in the headline versus this other one, like, are you more excited about that? Are you more interested in that? But it's always tough to even predict. Even with Backstage Pass voters, I think you don't always know exactly what's going to have that special sauce that makes people click. I don't know.
Even naming this show, like trying to pick a name for Bonus Pod was kind of like that in a way. Is like, we want it to be separate from the show, but still connected to the show. And it has to communicate that it's just whatever we feel like chatting about on a given day. It doesn't have to be timely, blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you parse all those things into 2 words where one person looks at it and one side goes, okay, I'll click on that. I understand. Like, it's so hard sometimes.
It has clarity of what it is, and it's unique that it's enough that it stands out, and it's only 2 words. Like, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of feedback that people don't really love. Some people, at least, don't really love the title Bonus Pod because it kind of is just what it is. And then we had like a meeting about it, Leo. I was like, maybe we'll change it. And we've had lots of discussions, and we still might circle around and change the name. But please DM me if you have a better name. Would love to hear it. You know how hard it is to sit and stare at a Word doc and have like a bunch of names that are all trash, and you think one's good, and then as soon as you get third party option, like, I'll say, what about this? And everyone's like, oh, that one's awful. I'm like, yeah, totally. That wasn't my favorite one.
I said it as a joke.
So hard. Yeah, I thought that was a joke. I think that was just a Chat GPT prompt or something. How weird.
That is such
Like,
a
no, that
perfect
was my favorite one.
example of getting lost in the fly. Like, the more you work on a
Yeah.
title for something, the more confused you can end up getting about it, and the harder it feels.
Yeah,
Which,
totally.
yeah, my dear fiance was like, I was talking through her a little bit throughout that process, and she was like, try and remember that it's not what matters most about it. Like, it's not as important as it feels right now, exactly what every word is in the title. And I appreciated that, because it's so often the thing I put off till the end, and then the thing matters so much to me, but I like didn't make it with the title in mind. So it's like now coming up with a title that I feel lives up to all the work I've put into it.
Yeah.
That's hard.
That's what you said too when we were brainstorming. You're like, we gotta lower our standards a little bit and just start saying some ideas, which was so real.
Yeah.
There's a guy
Part of the
revving
job.
his engine. Just close that.
Look
He
at you
wants to
walking
race
around.
Wants to race me. He's gonna win instead of a slip disc.
you. He knows he's at an advantage, so he's like,
He's like, come on, come outside. He's actually knows I'll always beat him unless I'm at my worst, like right now. So that's why he's
Exactly.
showing up outside revving his engine.
Yeah, he got tipped off.
Exactly.
That was
Yeah.
probably the donut guy from that video you hate.
I think so.
That
That
was him.
sounds like how he would act.
Do you think that's
Yeah.
the most made object in Blender because of that tutorial?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Besides like a primitive box or something. But if you're not counting that, if you're talking about like the most modeled thing is definitely donuts because of that man. And yeah, whenever people would be like, I'm starting to learn Blender now, it's like always a pink sprinkled donut.
Do you think Donut County, that indie game, exists because of that tutorial?
No, Donut County came out before it, I think. So
Do you
Wow.
think he made that because of
the
Donut
allegation.
County?
Oh, now we're cooking. That's a good theory.
That's my game
But
theory.
yeah, yeah. That's probably the most made thing. I had a question, but I just instantly forgot it because of that revving donut man.
Mm.
You'll have to
That
come
sounds
back
like
to
it's a cool donut truck that sells donuts or something. That's actually lit. No, I think one thing that I always think about is like it must be so hard to release a game because you get so in it and you're, even like just with that bonus pod thing, that's like the most minuscule 0.001% of that feeling. But it's like, I think this is right. Time to send it off. I'm so proud. And then to get critiques or something like, and maybe someone points out, why didn't you do this? And it's so obvious. Like, I just didn't think of that. Like, that must be a terrifying feeling.
Yeah, it's really weird. Because like it makes me so confused because I've gotten feedback from the game that's positive and feedback from the game that's also negative and things that should be changed, and it's like they're literally conflicting. Like I've had someone tell me this is disjointed and someone say like this is like disjointed but make it more disjointed, and it's like what do I even do? So like I just think that I've learned that feedback for me is like really not necessary unless it's like a dream where it's like it just hits you and sticks with you and it's like, okay, yeah, that actually is valid, maybe I should do that. That's how I feel. How do y'all feel about feedback, and do you give each other feedback a lot or like ask for it? Like it makes me not want to ask for it kind of.
I just had an experience with this today with our dear Ben Hansen that I think is really funny and interesting. Is the video went up and the link got changed in the description from here's the extended edition, here's the direct link to it so you can like sub to the Patreon and you're at the page already, and it got changed to a bit.ly link by Hansen, and I clicked through it and it was like to the post about the regular version. which is also on Patreon, but just available to everybody, was the post that the regular version was out. And I spent a minute curating this message of like, can we change this back? I think it's more valuable to have it to the Backstage Pass version, because that's what we're trying to get people to pay for, you know? And I sent it off, and then a minute later he was like, oh yeah, sorry, I just wanted to shorten the link and I used the wrong one on accident. which is like, I was so close to not sending that message at all. Because like, it's fine, people can find it. Hanson wanted to change it, I trust him.
Choice or something.
Yeah, right. But it was just that. And then he said something nice about like, always wanted to make sure I was comfortable. Like, if he was making a change I didn't like, to always be comfortable saying that, because he wanted to like respect my vision for my stuff. And I really appreciated that message. And we had a fun little back and forth connecting on like, yeah, notes are really hard to handle. Notes sometimes are like, we just get really sensitive about, and we're like just kind of checking in of like, I get standoffish about notes, and I don't want you to feel like you can't give them, or like I'm mad at you for giving them. And that kind of conversation, which was interesting, like point of similarity to find with each other as both being, you know, people who edit videos once in a while they really care about. Yeah.
Notes can be scary also because we all are so like self-critical, and then when you get a note that hits on something you've already thought about, it's like confirmation of my worst fears. This sucks ass. That's what I thought. And it's like, notes can be so hard because of that. And yeah, I recently like got notes for like the next big chunk of the game, and like there were some things in there I was like, oh, they're right. Like, oh, that does need to change, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's so confusing.
You really have to address it in good faith and go like, what am I feeling about this? And is that fair? And if I try and remove my feeling from it, does it read differently? Or is this making me feel a lot because I worry it's true? And working through like, is it true? Or do I stand by what I did? And that can make a big, big difference. Sometimes the takeaway is, yeah, this feedback was right, and that's why this is hard to hear. And sometimes it's like, no, you know, I rewatched the moment they're talking about, and I think it's exactly how it should be. You know, it's like, totally. It's the not engaging with it that gives me more anxiety about it and gives it more power. True of pretty much anything.
That's the scariest bit, is to double down after you got a note and you don't agree. That's so hard to be like, thank you for your comment, and not take the advice. It makes me feel guilty. It's crazy. It's like, it's my thing. I'm allowed to do what I want, but now I feel bad that if they ever see this in the future, they see I didn't take that note. It's like, what?
Yeah, totally. Asserting yourself is hard in those situations. It's hard to not feel like an asshole. So yeah, that's why it was good to have that conversation of being like straightforward, like, we both want this, and we aren't mad at each other and stuff. Like, I don't know, verbalizing that stuff always makes it more comfortable.
That's good. How long did you edit it for, Leo? How long did it take?
The final editing hours I billed for was like 25, maybe?
Wow.
Whoa.
Is that right? Maybe a little more. Spaced out over a long period of time, which I was grateful to have the luxury to do, to not feel like there was anything time sensitive about it. Spaced it out with other projects I'm working on. So I didn't get burnt out on it, and that felt good.
In the short intro that I watched already, it was so good, and I was like really taken aback by like how well it fits in the YouTube format of like having that hook of the joke in the beginning, and then you coming in and making a pitch for the canon version and stuff like that, which is the longer one. And I was like, oh, it was so good, like such a good, I don't know how I would start it. I thought that you might have started it with me like burping into the camera, typing the email, but that's how the long one starts, which is exactly how it should have been.
Right. That burp is long version exclusive, I believe.
Yeah, I
didn't
think
see a burp in the short one I watched.
Yeah,
there
definitely
you go.
Check that out. Yeah, that's a fun part. That's an interesting part of the process, is like, how do I make this work for, we can say for YouTube, for the algorithm or whatever, but really just like for people who click into it, make them not click off of it. in a way that's not like YouTube annoying sizzle reel, boom, 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 this crazy thing's gonna happen, cut to black, hey guys, what's up, welcome to the vlog. Kind of accomplishing the same goal as that in a more artful way, which I felt was easy with that story. Once I landed on like, this is the story, it's a funny story, it's from like or something really interesting that's happening, it's intriguing, like using that as a launching point was a fun thing to land on.
I loved when you guys were on the hike and then you just start talking with the other devs and they are pitching their game to you and you're pitching their game. That was the most natural and lovely thing, because not only are you walking in like the most beautiful place I've ever seen, it's just like you're sharing your creative projects, and then you cut it with like actual game footage so I can see what they're describing and know that those people with their hoodies walking on the trail made that. Like that was a very cool and grounded moment, and I really like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. It is like a major like summit with like show and tell basically, and like everyone's like come to this mountain to talk about this thing that they've privately been toiling away at for years, or whatever.
Yeah, that I think that's my favorite, my proudest thing I caught in this, which is I believe all in the short version, but of course there's more substance in the extended. The like going from talking with Joe about his specific pitch. Here's the thing I always say at these events, and how we all have these things we say, these ways of describing it. And then like within a few minutes, that real chance encounter of like what brought us together, and then we're talking about it, and then they're each doing their pitches as we talked about. Like I thought that was a really cool peek to be able to get into how networking goes on like a real moment to moment level at that type of thing, and I'm so grateful to those two for letting us film that.
Yeah, no, that's what made it so perfect, is we got to hear Joe say it to, how would Joe communicate that to his best friend, and then how would Joe communicate that to a stranger he met 5 seconds ago? Like how different would the conversation sound? You got to hear that back to back within 20 seconds. Like that's so perfect.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's awesome.
Honestly, you guys were eating some good food. I was coming back from Xbox events drunk and ordering Chili's and eating it in my hotel bed, and you guys were eating like the nicest food. I was so jealous. That was probably one of the things I noticed the whole time. I was like, yo, what is that Korean place? That looks awesome. Why did I go there? Oh, the food was awesome.
Did the Korean food aftermath make it into it at all, or no?
That sounds very scary. No, it just was the food up front. Something bad happened.
Just later. Imagine the walls splattered. No, it was we both had a rough morning after
we woke up in the middle of the night
hot.
To use the bathroom
back to back.
Pretty much back to back, yeah. But I didn't film any of that. Not even Backstage Pass gets to see that. That's a tier that hasn't yet been invented. Yeah, we were lucky to have
ass.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the title for you.
Thank you.
When it exists eventually.
Yes. We were really lucky to have Joe's partner's friend, who we kept hooking up with, Alex, who's in the documentary a little bit, who had a lot of like local recommendations, took us to some cool spots. So that's the big reason why we ate good. Shout out to him.
Yeah, Alex helped us find some good food. I just love eating as like my favorite thing about traveling. Like you just can really get a sense of the culture of the area just instantly by eating. And it's like one of the best things to do with humans is to eat with them and just talk.
True.
100%. So when I ate Chili's alone in my bed, I was missing out on human experiences.
That's one of the worst things about being alive.
Can be exciting. Chili's can be this exciting for Canadians. Not like I never get Chili's. It's like a once a year thing. So I guess that was somewhat fun. It's just that there was a Chili's next door to my hotel, so I didn't have to pay Uber or anything. I just walked in and ordered stuff and waited.
Respect.
Like it was 2010. It was the olden days.
Bob Buell said that Dumb King looks truly gorgeous. Thank you. And said any rough time frame for when it might come out. I can't say when it's coming out, but I will say it's not coming out in 2024. So it'll be a long wait. I've been working on this game for a really long time, so I hope that people don't mind waiting longer, like to the few people who are waiting for it like that.
Yeah, I could talk about how excited I am and how cool I think your game is all day. It comes
Thank
through
you.
in the demo for sure, the way that it's like moving through these specific moments that are so handcrafted and animated a lot of the time. Of you're meant to really be you could sit in each one for an hour and just sit and appreciate it. It's like that dense with stuff, and it's when you see the level of quality it is, it makes a lot of sense how long it's taking.
That is really nice of you to say. I have definitely talked about how envious I am of like your speed at which you're able to put out things of substantial length, you know? It's like it's almost denser than I would want it to be in a certain sense, because it's like it takes so much time to make such a short thing that gets passed by so quickly by the player. And it's just like an interesting trade-off. It's like compressing all my time into a small diamond, and it's like, I hope you like my little diamond that I've been making for 8 years or whatever.
Yeah, look at it for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Throw it away.
Yep.
You guys are throwing away diamonds? Okay.
Hey, it says a lot about this society. Jonah Gomez asked if you're going to any of the PAX events.
I wish. I'm not going to any PAX events this year, I don't think. The next event I'll be going to is Tokyo Game Show, which is going to be sick. I'm so excited to go back to Japan. Haven't been there for 5 years, and I've never been to Tokyo Game Show. That's always seemed like one of the ones, you know? It's like there was E3 and then Tokyo Game Show seems sick. So I'm like really excited to see what that is, because that's like a big event.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Neil Smith wants to know, why did that person ask you about filming on the stairs? We were near a shrine. Can we talk about where that shrine was?
Yeah. Swiss sisters. No, sorry, I just messed up what I was saying.
You got this,
Sister Guadalupe Shrine is what it is in La Crosse.
And we thought we were a safe distance to not be in trouble for filming, but somebody came out.
They can't film it.
That we were pretty far away. We were like by the parking lot, so that made me think that the church is like, they're ready. They got the security cams zooming in on people from afar.
Yes.
The nuns in the control room just
Yeah.
on the camera.
Operating levers.
And I think she ended up saying it was fine once we told her what we were doing, but we were done anyway.
That's on cam. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Any other questions? Feel free. We're wrapping up here, I'm sure. What's up with you, Haley? Did you take your painkillers yet?
I did. I took one. It says to take 1 or 2 a day. Don't you hate that? It's like, which one?
Yeah, be confident. Like, you're telling me what to do here.
I guess I'll take 2. I mean, I'm in a significant amount of pain, so I guess that's fine. Do you guys ever? Wait, you're both 30 now, right? Or are you almost 30?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're both 30. Are you
31.
finding that your cells are breaking down daily and you're dying and your body doesn't work anymore?
Yeah,
everyone said that as like a memey joke, and then I turned 30 and I genuinely, like, if I sleep weird, I messed up for a week.
My back just went out a few days ago, and I'm just recovering today. I was literally hobbling around town. I went to get lunch with Ben Hansen, and he was walking in slow motion next to me as I was hunched over, hobbling to the parking lot.
Oh no!
And he was
I'm
very
jealous of
polite
your
about
standing desk, Leo. I would love to have a standing desk right now because I'm gonna have to work tomorrow. Like, it's just an inevitability, and I do not want to sit in that goddamn computer chair. I would rather be standing, but
I've been slacking on the standing. That is part of what I blame on it.
Oh, really? You think if you were 100%
Wow.
stand-desker, you'd never have bad back? I think that would probably be true for me. I'm hunched over my keyboard like I've
Maybe.
gotten godly amount of hours a day.
I stretch too, and literally I just like, I had a really bad back problem last year. I didn't want it to ever happen again, so I started stretching regularly. It fixed it. Then I was like, what do I need to stretch for? It's fixed. And got lazy and didn't do it every day. Now here we are. The loop we're all in at all times. Trying to
That's so
change a
bad.
habit.
Yeah, I my back's been okay lately. But I think in terms of body deterioration, like my neck kind of cranes forward like a vulture a little bit. That's not normal. And then when I went to go get my laundry, like every step I took, each of my feet were clicking. Like I was
Oh
like, that's
no.
also not normal, but it doesn't hurt at least. I'm fine with the clicks, so it's okay.
Until you live in the quiet place world in 5 years,
Uh,
and you're
Oh,
screwed.
you'd get so destroyed.
You would get
Oh.
annihilated, dude.
No one over 30
be
would survive
done.
that film. It's so true because you're just cracking everywhere as you walk around. Even if you're on the little sandy paths that Jim from The Office makes, you're
Yeah.
still going to be cracking.
True.
God bless him for making those paths. Neil Smith says any specific stretches? You got the one where you lay on your back and you put your knees up and you tilt your knees left and right for a long time. Do a little back bend.
Little
There.
child's pose. That's a good one.
Yeah, child's pose, baby's pose, infant's pose.
Just crawl around like a baby for a while.
Yeah.
That brings back the spark for wanting to live, and you'll remember what it was like to be a child.
Yes.
It'll kick in a kind of survival instinct that you're like a baby. Just trust me.
And it's easy
Here's
to
a
mix
challenge
in
for you both.
to throw into your day as like I need to go get a snack. You can baby crawl there, and go to the water cooler and stuff.
I would be so much more in pain if I was a baby girl. Here's a challenge for you both. Come up with a yoga pose name that off the cuff, but it might be real. Like try to make me go, huh? Maybe that's real. And you do it.
Dolphins rest.
That sounds hella real.
Thank you.
I won't make you do it because we pulled that back problems.
I don't have enough height in here. The ceiling isn't high enough
it's a
for me to
big
pull
jump.
off.
It's a big jumping thing.
Ironically, you'd think they're resting. But
What
that's
about you,
resting
Joe?
to them, I guess. They're powerful creatures.
True.
Sorry, what was the question?
Come up with a yoga pose name that sounds real that isn't.
Dirty Dozen.
That's gotta have some kind of upwards leg positioning.
For sure. I'm imagining something like that with your legs. Kind of like doing this is like the Dirty
doing some
Dozen, but that's
L's.
your legs.
Right, almost hands of
Yeah.
the clock.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta do that,
Yeah.
and so it's high noon, and that's where the dozen comes in.
Oh, I like that.
yes.
That's why instructors can say, because they have to make all that small talk.
Yes.
All that boring yoga small talk.
They need lore for each of the moves.
Bob Buell had another question for you, Joe. Did you have any alternate titles for your game, or was it Dumpkin Cabbage always from the start?
I like kind of, I don't know if I never knew where the title came from. The title came first, kind of, and I think it may have came from hold on one second. Oh, Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom. That's an NES game with a really cool cover, and I think that title might have
cool.
influenced my title being Dome King Cabbage. And I'm not sure, because I may have written like another title of a game into like a word scrambler and it made Dumpkin Cabbage. I don't remember exactly how I came up with that title, but there's never any alternatives.
You
Nice.
heard it and you were like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, I think it hits my ear weird in like a same or similar way to like Dragon Ball Z. Like if you don't have context for Dragon Ball Z and what like the Dragon Balls are, that title's insane. It's like, what is this about? And so
but it's iconic in
kinda
that
like-
way.
yeah, it's kind of like what is this? And I got interviewed by Edge magazine, and they were like talking about the RPG aspect of the game and saying like, you know, that's kind of like how like Japanese RPGs come here and they just have nonsense word salad titles, you know, like I don't know, like Steins Gate or like
Metaphor
Relink
Fantasio.
Zero. Yeah, exactly. So it's like it kind of Dumb King Cabbage being a game within the game, it kind of fits that it has like
Yeah.
a nonsensical title in a way.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Of course, a big moment in the vlog is you getting that tattooed on you, so the name can never be changed, which I love.
That was awesome.
Has any publishers ever like got hung up on the name, like needed you to explain it or wanted to change it? Can you talk about that at all?
No, never. No. And when Troy
That's how
Baker
you know it's a good.
hopefully, or they're just like, yeah, I don't know. Troy Baker said that's an awesome name when he like presented it at the future game show thing or whatever.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that's
I didn't know
awesome.
that.
Yeah, maybe I could find that clip. Yeah, that was really bizarre seeing Troy Baker say that. Higgs, aka is what we call him in this household.
Right. That's
You gotta use
amazing.
that audio in the game somewhere.
When the
What'd
title
you say?
appears, you use that audio. Yeah. Pop-up clip.
The word cabbage also kind of gives me 90s vibes. And I was thinking maybe that's just because the word cabbage for a product has only ever been Cabbage Patch Kids, which is such like a 90s thing. So when I hear cabbage and it's like an interactive media thing, I think 90s for some reason.
I also think of Cabbage Patch Kids too.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
I
That's a plus.
don't know that. Yeah, subconsciously might have been influenced by that. Someone said King Cabbage alone is also just satisfying to hear. Yeah, I'm really into like alliteration and like Dr. Seussing shit up. So, do you have to edit when I swear?
Oh, no, it's fine. It's
None
late
of
enough
this.
in it.
Okay, sorry.
Any kids listening and
No,
falling
it's
asleep?
Did your dad pull over and kiss the horse at the I'm so sorry.
Well, we need to wrap this up and have dinner before Doc Lightning tonight. We're going right into the MinMax short documentary film festival, community submitted 3-minute documentaries about all kinds of different topics. We're streaming that in 90 minutes from now. So I've been really excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Last year,
Wow.
the submissions were amazing. Like, truly the coolest stuff. People just, here's where I work. I work in a medical facility, and here's how I sterilize the tools. And it's just like a specialist who only does that. And I'm just like, how do you do that? That's cool. They just show you, like, all that kind of stuff you
Wow.
never think about. Just making our community, just making these little 3-minute documentaries.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And great timing, another coincidental timing for this documentary to go out. What a
For
month of
sure.
documentaries here at MinMax.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for having me on, by the way. That was really fun. I really hope I get to do some more min-max stuff because I like talking with y'all a lot. It's so easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Yes.
Easy, busy, beautiful cover girl.
I'm glad we got you in the
Very
door a little bit
beautiful.
more with the doc and with this and stuff. And I'll spoil it by saying you're going to be on the Wholesome Games Direct reaction. We're streaming Summer Games Fest reactions to at least 4 shows this weekend. So if you want Summer Games Fest, but with people talking over it, reacting for you, so you don't have to, keep it locked. The MinMax show on Twitch, or is it on YouTube? Are we streaming on YouTube or?
I think YouTube.
Okay, on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, Leo, for running the tech because I'm dying. And thank you, listener, for listening. Sorry my audio quality was a little bit worse this week.
That's okay.
But
Get well
that's been
soon.
Bonus Pod. Thank you. Hopefully the druggies kick in soon. Fingers crossed. Well, thanks, and have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah,
Raid
can you
time. Twitch.
raid somebody, but tell them to come back. We'll let you off the leash for a little play at the park, but you better be back in 90 minutes.
Yes.
That's the vibe.
With Kyle Bossman. Did you see that clip, Haley? Of Kyle Bossman talking about us?
Yeah. He's like, all the people at Mimics have partners. Of course they like the PlayStation Portal.
Yeah, he said they're a bunch of partners. They love to say, I love playing the PlayStation Portal next to my partner. It was really funny.
Yeah, it was.
It's really good. So congratulate him on that good read. Now when you rate
It
him.
was such a good read.
Thanks, folks.
Sable, are you sleepy?
All right, we're out. Oh, and we're still here in the stage in Discord, though. The real final grouping.
The real bonus pod
Yeah.
heads.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
bonus pod.
Here's
They need
10
a name.
exclusive seconds of conversation.
Yeah, here's my dog again. Sable.
Aww.
Oh.
What's your
Very
dog's
sleepy.
name?
Sable.
Aw. For some reason, I
Her
thought you
name-
said Bubba.
That's a great name.
Hey,
When
Bubba.
we rescued her name was Empanada, and we changed it to Sable, but
Wow.
her middle name is still Empanada. She got to keep it.
Cute.
That's good.
That's what we
Yeah.
did with my cat Daisley. Her original name is Paisley. And we're like,
Oh.
Daisy's pretty close to that. We should stick with that name. So we call her Daisy Paisley a lot of times.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And Leo
think
assembled the cage to put her in.
Aw.
And she
Very
trusts me for
nice.
life from that.
Yep, Uncle Leo.
That's right.
Uncle Leo.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later. This was super fun.
Yeah, enjoy
Very
Din Din.
fun.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.
Oh, I was still streaming.